Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, today also we'll start with a new chapter from your civics portion, that is chapter 4, that is judiciary. Okay, so what is judiciary? Okay, the judiciary follows, the Indian government follows a system of the federal system, which is known as a federal system, where the powers with which the country can be ruled, is divided among the central government, and the state government, which is known as the federal system, which is existed in India. And the judiciary, what is a judiciary? So the judiciary is mainly there, in order to administer justice. If any crime has been committed, justice will prevail, and interprets law, protects the natural right of the citizen. Any rights which a person has, should be protected through the judiciary. And also looks into the relationship of the nation and the state. Relation between the center and the states are being checked upon by the judiciary. So there are important hierarchy, in this judiciary. They are the Supreme Court, that is the highest court in India, and it is the topmost in the hierarchy, and followed by the High Court, and later on we have the subordinate or the smaller courts. We'll look into it one by one. Moving on, we have the importance of judiciary. Why is it important to have a judiciary? It is important to have a judiciary because it tries to settle dispute, or it tries to bring a solution when people are fighting, or maybe when there is a bad conflict between two persons, or when there is a problem with center and state. What does the judiciary does? It tries to solve the problem during this kind of problems in the society. Next is the fundamental rights. The judiciary tries to uphold, and enforce the fundamental rights, to every citizens of India. It tries to look after it and also checks whether everyone is following the basic duties. And next is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the highest court in India, and it is the court where everything is decided, when things cannot be solved in the district as well as in the subordinate courts and in the High Court. It is brought to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will give the final verdict. If it is right or wrong, also it will give the final verdict with whatever things comes in their way. The Supreme Court is the highest judiciary body, in our country. Framers of the Constitution, the need for an independent judiciary. What the framers of the Constitution did was they tried to keep the judiciary independent, from the legislative and executive ways, because if any one misuses power, then the judiciary should be able to control that. And also impartial justice should not be given. So because of which, and the judiciary needs to be independent. Next, moving on, we have the Supreme Court, which is the apex body of the judiciary, which is the highest point of a judiciary in our country. So the Supreme Court is located in New Delhi, and also the Supreme Court makes the final decision of any cases, which comes to the court. And after which, which would be followed, or which would be followed by any other subordinate courts. So Supreme Court will make the final decision of any cases, as well as any decision which is important, for the other courts will also be made by the Supreme Court, which will be followed by the other subordinate courts. The composition of the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court is headed by the Chief Justice, and he will be assisted by a maximum of 30 judges, who will assist him in the decision making. So the Supreme Court, in the Supreme Court, the head of the Supreme Court is the Chief Justice, okay, followed by the 30 judges, okay, who will accompany him in his decision making. Okay, next is the appointment of the Chief Justice. How the Chief Justice is being appointed and how are the judges being appointed. Okay, so here in the Supreme Court, what happens is the President of India, okay, he will appoint a Chief Justice, okay, by having some consultation, okay, by talking with the judges of the Supreme Court. Okay, he will talk with the judges who are present there in the Supreme Court whether a candidate, okay, is eligible for being the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Okay, so he will talk with the judges who are there in the Supreme Court, okay, and also he will talk and deal with the separate high courts of India, okay, on the candidates who would be appointed as the Chief Justice. Okay, so after consulting them, okay, the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court, okay, they will be elected as the Chief Justice. Okay, and how are the 30 judges who are supposed to assist the Chief Justice elected? Okay, so the other judges, okay, are appointed after consultation, okay, after they talk with the Chief Justice. Okay, so the judges in the Supreme Court are elected after talking with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Okay, that is the appointment process in a Supreme Court. Next is the eligibility of being a judge in the Supreme Court, okay, or a Chief Justice. Okay, so the first point is he or she, okay, is supposed to be a citizen of India and supposed to be working in India as well. Okay, and he should have an experience, okay, as a judge in a high court. So before he is appointed as the Chief Justice, okay, what should be his criteria? So he should work for 5 years in the high court, okay, or at least 10 years as an advocate. Okay, so he should work as an advocate for 10 years, or he should be working in a high court for 5 years. Okay, so that is the criteria or the eligibility of being a judge in a Supreme Court. Okay, next is the term of the of the judges. Okay, so there is no fixed time, okay, for being in the Supreme Court as a judge, but he or she should serve till the age of 65. Okay, and in some cases the judges, okay, if the president is not happy with their work or if any misconduct happens, okay, when the judges are working in the Supreme Court, then the President of India can also remove the judges in such kind of cases, okay, when they are misbehaving or when they are not following accordingly. The President of India can remove them from the seat of the judge. Clear? So the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, okay, is mainly to carry out judgment, okay, on certain cases as well as to enforce law on certain matters. Okay, so we have two jurisdiction in the Supreme Court, that is the original jurisdiction and the appellate jurisdiction. In the original jurisdiction, what happens is, okay, any kind of incident which happens, okay, so these kind of cases will not be taken to a high court, or these cases will not be taken to a subordinate courts, okay, it will directly come to the Supreme Court at first instance. Okay, so if a person is murdered in case, okay, so and it's of that person is of high importance, okay, and the criminal has been caught, okay, then directly what will happen is they will take him to the Supreme Court in order to be judged. Okay, so he will not be taken to any other subordinate courts like the High Court or the subordinate courts. Clear? He will be directly taken to the Supreme Court at first instance when he is caught. Clear? So some of the cases which are being dealt in the original jurisdiction are, okay, some disputes between two states. Okay, if any conflict arises between two states on issues of land, okay, or on issues of migration, okay, then it can be dealt by the Supreme Court. okay, because it can make the final verdict, okay. And next is dispute between the center and the state, or if any kind of dispute arises between the center and the state, okay, then the Supreme Court takes the cases in their hand and tries to resolve the problems between the union and the state. Next is cases which concern the violation of the constitution, okay, by the government or anyone, okay, any kind of violation which is being made, okay, by the constitution, okay, by the government or any person, okay, it can also be dealt in the Supreme Court. Clear? Moving on, we have the appellate jurisdiction. Okay, in appellate jurisdiction, okay, what happens is the High Court plays a crucial role here. Okay, so the High Court, what it does is it makes a decision on certain cases like civil and criminal cases. Okay, so in this kind of jurisdiction, okay, the Supreme Court, okay, the Supreme Court can take its role as well. Okay, the Supreme Court can ask the High Court, okay, on certain verdicts that they give, okay, on cases like criminal and civil cases. They can review the judgment which has been given, or they can review the case which has been dealt by the High Court, okay, and they can give its own judgment. Okay, so the High Court does the thing, okay, and the Supreme Court can also intervene, okay, and look into the matter, and they can give their own judgment in terms of appellate jurisdiction. Next, we have the judicial review. Okay, next point, we have the advisory jurisdiction. Okay, the Supreme Court can also, okay, assist the president, okay, give the president with advice, okay, but it is not necessary, okay, but it is not important that the president would follow the advice given by the Supreme Court, okay, but also it acts as an advisory board, okay. And the Supreme Court, what it does is it records and prints all its proceedings and judgment which is being made in the Supreme Court. Okay, so it is also known as a court of record. The next is the judicial review. Okay? In this judicial review, what happens is the Supreme Court has the power to review, okay, the cases which has been dealt in the local, okay, as well as in the state and national government, okay. And what they can do is they can cancel the cases, or they can cancel the verdict that has been given, okay. And so the Supreme Court has this kind of power. Next, moving on, we have the High Court. Okay, so the High Court is the highest judicial authority in a state. Okay, is the highest authority in a state. Supreme Court is in the center. Okay, when we see state, would be in the state of Nagaland. Okay, so or maybe states like Assam, would be states like Kolkata, okay, West Bengal, okay, and then we have Tamil Nadu, okay, so it will be states like that. Okay, so the High Court is the highest judicial authority in the state at present. Okay, there are 25 High Courts in India. Okay, and composition here also, like the Supreme Court, the High Court is also headed by the Chief Justice and the judges. Okay, but however, here the judges are appointed according to the size of the state. Okay, so there is no specific number of how the judges in the High Court of how many judges are being appointed in the High Court. Okay, it depends on the number size of the state. Okay, appointment. Okay, so the composition, Chief Justice and the other judges. Appointment work. Okay, it is mostly done by the President of India. What he will do is he will consult, okay, the Chief Justice of India and the Governor of the state, and later on they will appoint the Chief Justice of the High Court. And the judges, okay, they are appointed by the President as well. What he will do is he will talk with the Chief Justice of India, okay, and the Governor of the state and the Chief Justice of the High Court, and then the judges are appointed to the High Court. Okay, so the eligibility of being a judge in High Court are, okay, he or she must be a citizen of India, okay, and should have 10-year experience as an advocate of a high court. Okay, so the person, in order to be a judge in a high court, okay, should be working as an advocate in the high court itself, okay, or maybe 2 or more such courts. Okay, it may not be a high court, but subordinate courts also, he can be working for 2 or more years, okay, in 2 or more, I mean like 2 or more smaller courts, okay, yeah, then he will be appointed as the judge of the high court. Okay, and the term for being in the high court, okay, is he can serve, okay, he can serve for up to 62 years, okay, and will be the same case, okay, if any kind of violation is being done by the judges, then the president has the right to remove them directly from the position of a judge. Okay, next we have jurisdiction for the high court are, okay, the high court tries to issue writs for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay, the high courts, okay, what it does, it tries to enforce, okay, the use of fundamental rights among people. And number 2 is it passes the rule of election petition and election related dispute. Any kind of election related dispute is being dealt by the high court as well. Okay, it hears both civil and criminal cases against the decision of the subordinate courts and review the judgment. It controls and supervises the working of subordinate courts. Okay, so the high courts also check the subordinate courts in whatever decision that they are making, and the high court receive cases mostly of civil cases and criminal cases which is being done in the state. Okay, and also whatever judgment has been given by the subordinate courts can also be refrained back by the high court and can be changed by the high court as well. Okay, so next we have the Advocate General. Okay, so the Advocate General, okay, is appointed by the governor of the state. Okay, and he is the one who will advise the government on legal issues and also perform legal duties, okay, assigned by the government. Okay, so the Advocate General, he works mostly for the government of the state. Okay, and his qualification will be somehow the same with the judges of the high court. Okay, next we have the subordinate courts. These are the low ranking subordinate courts, okay, which are there, okay, in most of the districts. Okay, so the subordinate court, okay, is divided into various courts in order to hear various different cases. Okay, and these are mostly in the district field. Okay, the Supreme Court is in the center, High Court is in the state, and the subordinate courts are included in the district itself. Okay, so we will look into it one by one. Okay, first we have the District Judges Court. Okay, so this District Judges Court, okay, is the highest civil court in a district. Okay, and it can hear cases relating to land dispute, okay, property dispute, okay, money transaction, marriage, divorce, okay, will and guardianship. Okay, so these are the cases which are being dealt in the District Judges Court. Okay, and it also tries to make an appeal to the lower courts as well. Okay, we have again lower courts, so they can make appeals on those kind of things. Okay, in some cases additional district courts assist the district judge as well. Okay, so additional district judges will also what they will do is they will assist the district judge. Okay, next is the court of session judge. Okay, so the court of session judge is the highest criminal court in a district. Okay, it is the highest criminal court in the district. Okay, and here they can hear cases relating to murder, okay, decosty, robbery, okay, are dealt upon in this court of session judge, where these kind of decisions are being verdicts are being given. Okay, so next we move on to the revenue court. Okay, so here in this revenue court, it deals with cases relating to land records. Okay, it also assesses and collects revenue from landholders. Okay, the highest revenue court under the supervision of the high court is the Board of Revenue. Okay, while the highest revenue court in a district is the Court of Collector. Okay, so it is all about collecting of revenue, collecting of tax. Any problem arises with collecting of revenue and tax, it is being dealt by the revenue court. Okay, next, the most common one is the Panchayati court. Okay, it deals with civil as well as criminal cases in a village. Okay, so any kind of crime which has been conducted, okay, criminal or civil cases are being dealt by the Panchayat court. Okay, this court works under various regional names. Okay, so the Panchayat court is given different names, okay, such as the Naya Panchayat, Gram Kuchteri, okay, and so on. Okay, it is given different names in different locations. Okay, so 3 or 4 villages can be clubbed together. Okay, they can be clubbed together and they can work under the Naya Panchayat. Okay, sentences of the Panchayat, okay, cannot be appealed against, but the parties involved can seek legal remedy in a court. Okay, so what they can do is they can also take legal remedy if their cases are being not solved. Okay, so if cases cannot be solved in the Panchayat courts, what they will do is they will move it up, okay, to a district court or maybe the court of session judges. Okay, and if they are not able to control that also, or they are not able to give verdict on that also, it will later be again shifted to the high court. Okay, and then if the high court is also not able to give verdict on cases such as criminal and civil cases which happen in the village level, then it can also be taken to the Supreme Court as well. Okay, so that is how the courts exist in India. Okay, with the Supreme Court being the highest. Okay, next, the last topic, we have the Lok Adalat. Okay, the Lok Adalat, okay, is the process of seeking justice in time. Okay, the process of seeking justice takes a long period of time. Okay, and it's very expensive in our country. Okay, so for this reason, the Lok Adalat had or the People's Court was set up in order to provide speedy justice. Okay, a Lok Adalat is presided over by a retired judge. Okay, and along with 2 members, usually a lawyer and a social worker. The disputing parties put forward their own cases without the advocate. The cases are solved through mutual understanding. No appeals can be made against the order of the Lok Adalat. Okay, so if you want speedy justice, okay, or if you want speedy verdict on some cases, then you can approach the Lok Adalat. Okay, which is presided by a retired judge. Okay, after which he is assisted by a advocate and a social activist. Okay, or a social worker. Okay, so cases are being solved at a very easy rate, okay, where mutual understanding can be made, okay, and there will be no problem as well. Okay, with this we come to the end of this chapter, and next class we will continue with another chapter as well. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.